This is the practical session for entity integrity constraint. Before starting with the practical practice, I hope you have watched the lecture number 6 of DBMS lecture series, because for the introduction of these constraints. So we have different type of constraints such as entity not null constraint, unique constraint, default constraint, check constraint, and key constraint like primary key, foreign key constraint. And next is the domain constraint, that is data type and constraint. So lecture number 6 contains a detailed description of these constraints. We here in this lecture we are going to implement these constraints. So not null constraint means a particular column cannot have the null value. Unique means that column must have all the entries, unique entries. And default means we can set the default value for any column, if we required. Suppose, for example, we need to set the fee for all the students as 10,000, so we can set the default entry for that particular field as 10,000. And next is check. Suppose we want to perform some of the condition while entering or inserting the values into the column, like age should be greater than 18 or salary should be greater than 20,000. So these types of checks can check constraint can be applied over the table. Next we have key constraints like primary key constraint, foreign key constraint, and foreign key constraint, also known as referential integrity constraint. These constraints are useful for linking of two tables. Okay, and the primary key table is known as the master table. Foreign key table is the child table or the detail table. Okay, we have covered the implementation of this in last practical lecture series. Next we have the domain constraint as data type and constraint. So here by domain constraint we mean that domain is a particular column. Suppose for a mobile number, I or any roll number, I am not supposed to enter any string. So this is, if I have not specified any constraint, the data type is acting as a constraint for that particular field. Means if I have defined the type of that column as number, then I am not supposed to enter any string, any date format, etc. I just need to enter number, and only number is acceptable for that field. So this is also a type of constraint. Means here domain means a set of value that is acceptable, or that is values that are according to the condition or constraint of that attribute, that column. Okay, so these are the domain constraint. So domain constraint comprises of data type plus any of these constraints. So okay, if we have not defined any constraint, still we have data type constraint for all the columns, number, date, varchar, etc. So now we are going to implement these constraints, and let's check the variation, how the functionality of, or the we can say that how the conditions can be set using these constraints for particular column in the table. So starting with the not null constraint, unique, and check constraint. So we have already done primary key and foreign key constraint in last practical. So domain constraint comprises of combination of these, any of these constraint and the data type. And notice one thing, we can also have the multiple constraints for one field. Like here we have defined not null for the student name, student age is defined as not null. Same way we can have unique constraint or not null constraint at the same time. Also we can define multiple constraint. So here is an example. Suppose I have defined not null. Not null, here default is 10,000 for the exam fee. Here we have defined the constraint roll number with not null, means roll number cannot be null. Next we have defined the constraint check, the roll number should be greater than 1,000. So here we have defined two constraints. And also we can write here unique, means we can define multiple constraints at the same time, and there is no issues with that. So not null space unique space check, roll number should be greater than 1,000. So we can define any number of constraints for one attribute, one column. So here, like here we have set examination fee as default is 10,000, means if we are not entering any value for the examination fee, then the default value taken as 10,000. So let's start implementation of this. So here I am creating the table, student table, with roll number, name, age, etc. Now, as we can have only one primary key in a table, so let's start creating the table as with roll number of type number, size 10, and as primary key. Now, we can say that a student is having a unique admission number as well. So admission number must be unique for every student of type number, size 10, but we can have only one primary key in one table. So what should we do? We cannot define another primary key as for the admission number, because primary key can be one in a table. So for this, we can have the unique constraint for the admission number, because admission number must be unique for every student. Okay, so we have defined it as admission number with unique constraint. Next we have the name and name of type varchar, and we cannot keep the name as a null entry, so we are defining the constraint not null for the name. Next we need to define the age of type number, and also we want to define the constraint as check age should be greater than equal to 18. And last we are defining a column fee of type number with the constraint that fee default. Okay, let's leave the fee. We will be taking the default constraint later. Let's work with these constraints only, not null, unique, and check. Okay, table is created. Okay, so we have created the student table with roll number 10, roll number of size 10 with primary key, and we also need, primary key has two properties, not null and unique. Okay, remember that primary key is meaning of primary key is unique and not null. And we want the same properties for admission number as well. Okay, but we cannot create another primary key, so we have created it as a unique, means we have defined the constraint unique for the admission number, because every admission number must be unique. Next we have name of varchar type, name cannot be null, so we have defined not null. Age should be greater than equal to 18. So these are the constraints we have defined. So let's check all these constraints one by one. As roll number is primary key and we have already checked the roll number in last tables, insert into table name. Table name is student. Okay, while entering the rows into the table, we can enter the rows in any order, means I have taken roll number, then I can take name instead of, means we can change the sequence while entering the values into the rows, means while entering the records, inserting the record, we can change the order of the values. So after roll number I am not taking admission number, I have taken the name. Next I can take age. Okay, and after that I can take the admission number. So you can change the order as per your requirement. You can enter the record, you can access the record in any order from the table. So now next we have defined values. So I'm writing the query in multiple lines so that it can be clearly visible to you on the screen. So values, here we are defining the alternate names, means here after pressing the enter, I will get enter value for this, enter value for name, enter value for age. So you can also rename the columns for the execution of this query, as roll number can be renamed as uh, complete name, complete roll number. Okay, Next we have name. Name can also be renamed as name. Next we have age. And last column is admission number. Admission. Okay. So here I have renamed two columns as roll number RN with roll number and admission number with admission. So this we have also changed the sequence of values here. Means firstly entered value will be roll number, next value of the row will be name, next value provided by the user will be age, and next will be admission number. Okay, so this is just the reordering of values, but actual value or inserted record will be in the same order as defined in the table. So after pressing enter, I am getting the use. It will prompt you for the entries or the attributes, like enter value for roll number. Suppose I have entered roll number as 20 because roll number is primary key, so we cannot keep it null, and also we need to be roll number should be unique for all the students. So roll number is 20 and age should be greater than 18, so I am taking it 19. Sorry, oh, it was name. It's okay. Admission number constraint, and constraint for admission number is unique, so admission number is this. Okay, so one row is created. Okay, let's delete this row because we have entered the wrong name. So delete from student. As we have only one row, we can just run the command delete from student and all the rows will be deleted. We need not to specify any where clause because we are having only one row. So here the row is deleted. So again, trying to insert the values into the table. Okay, now 20, roll number is 20. Next we have name. Name is suppose this, and age must be greater than 18. Constraint was this. So next we have admission number as 1001. One row is created. Next repeat the insertion. Let's enter the next row. Roll number is now 22 and name is this. Age is suppose 20 and admission number is 1003. Okay, so we have admission number must be unique all the time because we have defined the unique constraint for admission number, so we cannot repeat the values for the admission number. So we have inserted two rows till now. Let's display the rows. So these are the two rows that we have entered into the table till now. Next, let's repeat the insertion and check for all the defined constraints. Now we are going to check for the constraints, as we have here roll number. So this is just the renaming of column. All the entries will be entered in the proper order only, means we can change the order during insertion process. After name we are having age. Okay, so roll number must be unique. We cannot enter duplicate values. So let's not mess with the primary key because we have practices the admission primary key constraint in the last practical. So next time I am trying to enter name. As for name we have defined the constraint as not null, means name field cannot left null or blank. So let's try to enter the null value for the name. Next, age is 20. All the all the entries are according to constraint except the name field, because name field is having constraint as not null, means we cannot enter null value for the name field. Admission number must be unique, so define it as this. Okay, now after running the command, it is showing the error that cannot insert null into. It's showing that cannot insert null into system student table of system for the name attribute, means for name attribute we cannot insert the null value. So the null constraint is violated here, so we are not supposed to enter the null value. Okay, so let's repeat the insertion again, checking for the next constraint. And next constraint was for as we have admission number must be unique, so we cannot enter the duplicate entries in the admission number, and age must be greater than 18. So let's check for the age constraint first. So roll number must be unique. Let's enter the roll number as this, and we have name. So name is suppose this. Next we have age. So let's try to enter the age that is less than or not according to our constraint. Admission number must be unique. Okay, so it is showing the error that check constraint is violated, means we are not supposed to enter the age that is less than 18. Okay, so here we are the row is again not inserted. Let's check for the next constraint. Next constraint is unique for admission number, because we want the admission number with the same properties as the primary number, as the primary number is not null and unique, and for every student we must have a unique and not null admission number. So but we have defined only unique for the admission number. So let's check the properties of the admission number field. So roll number is defined as the unique entry as 45, and name is again the unique entry. We are taking it as Adi. Next we have the age. So let's enter the age that is greater than equal to 18. So we have entered the 20. Now we are checking for the admission number. So entering the value for admission. If we try to enter any duplicate value, as we have already entered the admission number 1003, let's try to enter it again 1003. So what we get the error? The unique constraint is violated, means uh, we are not inserting the unique value for the admission number. Okay, so let's try to enter the unique value. Age is 20 and admission number is 1006. So after entering the unique value for the admission number, the row is inserted. Select. So here is the resulting table. Okay. Now let's check the unique constraints other properties, that are, if we are inserting into the table, roll number must be unique 34, name is, and age is 19. Now we are keeping the admission number as null. Still row is created because we have entered the blank value for admission number. So blanks are allowed for the unique column, means if we have defined any column with a unique constraint, so we can have multiple blanks in that column, means we can keep the null entries for that column. So now Again inserting the value. Row is created. So printing the values, or let's check the values. So here we have the admission number as a null for roll number 34, or we can have multiple, even we can have multiple null entries, multiple blank entries for admission number column, because we have defined the unique constraint for this column. By unique, here we mean that unique means distinct values in the column, but we can have any number of null entries. Okay, let's check this out. We can have multiple, if we have multiple entries for null, like again a null entry means we again we have entered the null entry for the admission number. This is the table. This is the resulting table. For unique constraint, we have entered two blank entries. Here we have two blank entries. As we are having blank entries, so the admission number, what we needed is we needed that admission number should be unique and not null. But here we are having two blank entries. Okay, so we need to delete these blank rows, or the rows with these blank entries. First solution is either we update the table and enter some of the value for these fields, or the second option is delete these rows and re-enter the records. So we are taking the second option, delete from student where admission number is null. Okay, so we have two rows with null entries for admission number. Remember that for null constraint, for checking the condition with null option, we cannot use equal to or any relational operator. We have to use is, where this is null, where that is null. Okay, so we cannot use equal to here, where admission number equal to null. Okay, but for other options, yes, we can check admission number equal to 1001, admission number equal to 2005. That is okay. But for null entries means if we have to give the condition for null, you have to use it with is, where admission number is null. So after entering the executing this query, two rows are deleted, means after this we are getting this row. Okay, suppose now I want to add the not null constraint as well for the admission number, because this is the condition of admission number, that admission number must be unique, and also it cannot be left blank. So I need to enter the admission number uh, with constraint not null. Okay, so we can use a command alter table, add constraint. Okay, that we have used earlier for primary key. We can use the admission alter table, add constraint, add command to enter any, or to update table with any of the newly added constraint. But in case of, just in the case of uh, not null constraint, we cannot use alter table command with add constraint. For that add clause, we have to use modify. So this is the rule, or it will not work with this version, means alter table add constraint not null is not going to work. For not null constraint only, for not null constraint we need to use modify. So I am altering the table and adding the constraint not null with modify clause. So alter table student modify. What column we want to modify is admission number, and define it with not null. So we have modified or altered the table. Table is altered. Now after this, if we try to insert any null entries or blank entry to the admission number, it will show the error. Okay, so let's, as we have defined the name with not null, if we want to define name, means if we require that name should be unique for all the students, so we can also define it with the help of alter table command. Modify name unique. Okay, after this constraint we will not be able to add any duplicate name in the table. Okay, so this is the method, this can be the method to add the unique constraint for the name attribute, or you can use the add constraint also. Alter table student, add constraint, constraint name is unique key or unique constraint. Okay, for unique for admission number, for name, sorry. Okay, so table is altered again, means we have entered the earlier we have defined the name at column with the not null constraint. Now we have added one more constraint to the name as a unique constraint. Okay, so we have altered the table with add constraint. Here the constraint name is UC. You can drop the constraint using alter table command anytime. Alter table drop constraint name, so constraint will be, that particular constraint will be dropped or deleted from the table. Okay, but we cannot use this syntax for the not null constraint. It will not work with not null constraint, but modify can work with any constraint, means we can use modify with admission number unique, or admission number check this, admission number unique, not null, anything, means modify can work with any constraint. But yes, this add constraint or this add command is going to work with any constraint except not null. So for not null we need to use modify, and we can also use modify for any other constraint. So table is altered here, and we have added the unique constraint for name. Now we cannot be able to add the duplicate name for this table. Okay, remember one thing, for adding any constraint after creating the table, if we want to add the new constraint to the existing table, so the existing record must fulfill the conditions of that constraint, only then we can add. Suppose if we were having here multiple entries for same name or duplicate entries for any of the name, then we were not able to add this constraint. Suppose I am having Geeta with 2 rows or Ram with 3 rows, then I am not supposed to add this unique constraint, because tables already tables is already having duplicate entries for that column, so I cannot add the unique constraint for name. Okay, so to add any new constraint, the existing rows must fulfill the constraint first. Okay, only then we can apply the constraint for the newly inserted rows. Firstly, the existing rows should fulfill that constraint. Clear? So next, this is the complete scenario how we can add the constraints after creating the table. Alter table means for existing table, or you can define multiple constraints at the table creation time also. Suppose here I have written roll number, number, primary key. I can also add the check here, or I can also add not null, unique, check. Any number of constraint can be defined with one column while creating the table. Okay, so this is the one way. And if we come with the constraint conditions after creating the table or for any other existing table, then we can use the alter table command to add any of the constraint. But remember one thing, alter table command with add can work for all other constraint except the not null constraint. For not null constraint, you have to use alter table command in this format only. Alter table student modify this, alter table, add constraint, and this is also optional, means constraint and constraint name. This keyword with constraint name is optional. You can always skip this option. Okay, so this is all about the entity integrity constraint. We have not covered the default constraint over here. So let's practice the default constraint, how it's going to work. For default constraint, let's create a new table and with only two values just for the indication. First I'm taking fee of type number with default value as 1000 or 10,000. Next, we are having name corresponding to the student whose fee is pending. Name varchar. So table is created with two fields. First is fee, and next we have name. Name is defined with the default value as 10,000. So if we are defined with any default constraint for any column, then we can skip the value for that particular column while inserting new rows into the table. Let's start the insertion. Insert into temp. Okay, and whenever we are not entering value for all the columns in the table, we are must to specify, means we need to specify the column's name for which I am providing the value. Suppose I'm not inserting value for all the columns. Here we have two columns only, so I'm not willing to enter the fee value for any row, so I can skip this column. Okay, and for that you have to specify names for those columns for which you are going to insert the values. Suppose I want to insert value for name only, I don't want to insert the value for fee, so you can skip the column, but for that you have to specify the field name in the insert command. Like here we have defined the field name that I am going to insert the value for name only. Okay, so for every row name will be inserted only, then and fee will be taken as a default value. So let's start with it. Values. So for value we can rename the column. So I am renaming, or you can directly provide the value also. Suppose I am directly providing the name as Tia. One row is inserted. You can directly provide the value. Suppose now I want to insert value for all the field, so I can provide the, as we can change the order. So first value will go to first column and the second value will go to the second order, second column. So here the again next row is created, displaying the record. Select star from temp. Okay, here in first row we have not inserted any value for the fee attribute, but in second insertion process I have entered value for both the field name and fee. Okay, so let's check the rows or the result of this query. Here I have not provided the value for the first row, so it is filled with the default entry that we have defined using this. So create table temp and default is 10,000. Okay, and for second row as I have defined 20,000 as fee and name as Tia, so it has taken the new value, means it has not considered the default value for fee column here, because I have already provided the value. If I skip this value, then it is going to take the default value. So let's insert a new row with name, suppose Ria, and no value for fee. Or you can enter any number of rows like we have done before. So we can enter any number of rows. Student name, so let's rename it. Okay, So it will prompt you for names only because we have selected only one field. So if we want to enter value for all the fields, then I have to provide the name, or if we provide the name for limited number of fields, then it will prompt you for the for those values only. So student name is suppose this. Again a row is created, repeating the insertion. Again we have to provide the name. Suppose I provided it as Itika. So again a row is created. Let's display the records of the table. So here for all those rows for which I have skipped the fee value, the default value is taken as 10,000, and for second row, as I have already specified the value for fee as 20,000, then that value is considered as a column entry. But for other where I have not provided any of the fee value, then the default value is substituted. Okay, so this is all about the entity integrity constraint. We can have any condition in checks. For example, in check we have specified only condition for the age. Here age should be greater than equal to 18. We can also specify or and another constraint with this. Suppose I want to specify that age should be greater than equal to 18 and age should be less than, so we can write it as, suppose I'm here providing the constraint for age, we can write should be greater than equal to 18. Before this we have to write check. I'm just writing it for the syntax purpose, just to clear the concept. I'm not writing in the proper syntax, and age should be less than equal to, suppose, 50. So we can specify any relational conditions, logical operator and or etc. in the check constraint and while creating the table. And you can also add check constraint after creating the table or for any existing table using the alter table command with add clause or with modify. Okay, so modify can work with all the constraints, so you can easily use modify for defining the constraints. Thank you. And this is your part of third practical only. You have to write the all the queries of the primary key referential integrity constraint practice, and also for these constraints in same practical. So this is your practical number 3 for your DBMS file.